Hey, what's going on? It's Dave here, and I'm being joined today with the lovely Jiordy. Hi, Jiordy.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me. Jiordy and I are just going to talk a bit about her amazing kind of journey and story, to be honest, of how far she's come. If you're out there and you may be struggling to losing weight and just getting started with your own journey or staying consistent and just needing a bit of inspiration and learn from someone else, I think you'll find this really valuable. So thank you again, Jiordy, for joining us. And we're just going to dive in and see where we go with things. I think it's important to start from the beginning, which makes sense. Jiordy, talk a little bit about, I guess, where you were a couple of years ago and the start of the journey for yourself.
So a few years ago, back in 2018, I jumped on the scales at a health check and I was very overweight for my age group. And I hadn't really noticed up until that moment that I was overweight and not very healthy. I think it just kind of was a bit of a shock for me. And so from that moment on, I wanted to do better and get healthier.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my goal.
Right, so that was kind of like your sort of rock bottom kind of point, was it, when you?
Yeah, it was the rock bottom point. It was just, I just hadn't noticed it up until that point, and that was a bit to be 20 years old and to be very overweight just kind of scared me a bit.
Do you mind sharing exactly?
So I was 98 kilos in January 2018, and so for a 20-year-old, that was a little bit out of proportion.
Had you been a little bit bigger most of your childhood sort of thing?
Yeah,
and then just slowly crept up on you?
Different stages where I started off really lean when I was younger, but then as I got older, I just kind of started eating more and not really noticing that I was overeating a lot, and then it just got gradually worse and worse and worse.
Through sort of the late teens, isn't it?
Yeah, late teens to when I was 20.
Yeah, it's actually a time where a lot of people gain weight actually, which is interesting. Is sort of late teens or finishing high school especially, because your routine tends to change a lot, and then you start going out and you don't have the restrictions of being a kid, so it's actually a very common age people gain weight. It's like 18, 21, 22, where they go take uni, whatever they do, travel even, some traveling. So built up, you're 20 years old, doctor, and that's kind of like the holy crap.
Yeah, that was the moment where I thought, you know what, I need to do something and be healthier and get fitter.
How had it been affecting your life I don't know, those couple of years between 16, 17 up to 20, the weight and how you felt about yourself?
So I didn't really have much confidence, and I didn't like going out into the world because all my clothes hugged too tight, and I judged myself in the mirror, and I felt self-conscious, and I looked at other girls my age and it made me feel worse about myself. And so I just kind of stayed inside and didn't really push myself to do anything, especially summer. I avoided the beach and stuff because for me that was like a no-go. So it wasn't a place I felt comfortable. Someone that lives at the beach, that was quite devastating.
Rubs in a little extra. Very, very similar, and thank you for being so honest. Very similar to myself and my journey. Swimming carnivals at school were one for me because it was this one day a year and I would just avoid them like the plague. I would find some reason not to go, or if I did, I'm sitting in the corner, keeping the shirt on and stuff, even if I wanted to.
Towel wrapped around.
Something right. Was curious again, just from that point in time, was social media, Instagram, a really big thing at the I think it was when I was doing my timelining, but for you as well, were you on social media looking at fitness chicks as well?
So you just, whenever you put on Instagram or Facebook, you would see these girls and they were just, their bodies, the Victoria's Secret model show, a lot of the girls watched that in my age group, and you just saw these girls and they just had these unreal figures, and you just thought, wow, I don't look anything like that. And it made you feel worse about yourself, thinking I must be doing something wrong because I don't look anything like that. And if that's what's beautiful, then I must not be beautiful.
Sure. That sentence I think is very powerful. This is very nuanced, but would you look at people like that on Instagram, Victoria's Secret, and would you sort of think look, I just haven't got the genetics for it and I'm just not like them? Or did you think more I must be doing something? That's very nuanced, I know, but...
Yeah, I don't think you think about the genetic side of it. I don't think people in that age group, young adults and stuff, don't actually think about what body you were born with and what your genetics and your figure is and your skeleton, what's underneath. I think you just look at pictures of these girls, these Instagram influencers and models, and you think, that's the size, that's the body type. That's what you got to be.
For sure. That's really interesting you put it that way. So cool, and it's good. I know we spent a bit of time on this side. We'll move into the transformation side, which is the awesome side, but I think it's important to acknowledge that starting, and hopefully anyone watching can relate a little bit to a lot of those challenges. I had the same as a young male, it was the same thing. I'm looking at guys on social media or my friends with their body and going, why don't I look like you? Why do I have to be like this when you get to be like that? So completely get it. So you have the rock bottom moment. You're in the doctor and it's like, okay, something's got to change. What did the start of that look like for you? Like, what was the first few steps?
So the first thing I did was look at gyms, and I wanted to find something in my area that was local so that I could start training, because I assumed that gym was the crucial part to getting to that point.
Yep.
Later on, I found that it's actually not just gym, it's mostly eating, which was something I had struggled with.
Yep.
So that was a new thing that I found out, that it's actually mostly diet.
Okay. So you start working out first, and you're like, crap, I should really look at what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Kind of slowly after starting to exercise.
I just never really noticed. I don't think many people do. We don't really get educated about calories growing up, or how much is in things and what portion sizes are.
Yep.
And I think because we don't know that, and we usually get dinner plates, and you think that the plate is just serving. And so people fill their plates, and you don't realize that that's actually too big and too much that you should be eating, so you don't realize you're overeating.
Yep.
And I think it's just because there's just not much education out there. So if you don't know, then you can't really do anything about it.
You just do what you've always done, right? And
it's just, you don't portion size, you don't measure things out, you just cook things, eat things.
Cook and eat, simple.
Very simple.
And so you're getting started. Did you find like it was easier, like motivation-wise at first? You were super motivated, or was it really hard the first couple of months? I don't know if you can think back. You know, were you there going like 2 weeks in, like, this is too hard, I want to quit?
Definitely, because the eating part was the most hard thing for me. Mostly, it wasn't the gym, because the gym was definitely hard, and I had asthma, and it was pretty bad at the start. I had my Ventolin running around in the gym every 5 seconds with the cardio. But it was the food, because you feel like you're missing, like you can eat more, and it's just training your stomach to get used to that. And I wanted to give up a few times, but it's just pushing through that bit where you think, oh, this is really hard, but then you just think, no, you know, I really want it, and I can do this. And that was just that motivation. You just need to remind yourself constantly. And there was times that you, like, I stopped and just thought, oh, what am I doing? This is so hard. And I just built myself back up again. Yep. So it was a roller coaster. It wasn't just a weight loss plunge. Yep. It was up, down, down, up, down to get to where I am now 2 years later.
Yeah, and that's the reality from, like, we work with a lot of people here in our coach, like everyone, it's a bit of a roller coaster. Anyone who thinks it's the plunge, prepare to be slightly disappointed, because your body's just not that simple, and life's not that simple, right? You have things come up.
Yeah, birthdays, Easter, and you shouldn't, you know, stop doing things that you love, you know, all in moderation. Yeah. And so it's just about, you know, having rewards here and there, and just not overdoing it.
Yeah, for sure. And when did you feel, again, thinking back, when did you feel like you were finally like seeing progress, where you were like, oh my God, this is amazing, I'm happy, I'm feeling like I'm getting somewhere? Did you get some, do you think it was like early wins, like in the first couple of months, or was it took like 12 months and you were like, okay, now?
First couple of months I lost 10 kilos, and that made a huge difference in photos, and people were noticing. So friends and family were saying, oh, you look like you've lost weight, and you know, everyone wants to hear that. That's the words of like, just amazing words to hear. You just feel that encourages you to push through and do better, because like, wow, people are noticing. And so the first, 10 kilos was a big hit for me, and then it was just gradual from then on. And there was different milestones that I hit along the way that made me happy each time I hit them. Yep. So like, I was a size 16 at the time, 16 or 18, and I couldn't fit into any of the boutique brands that all the girls my age were wearing. And so often they would come and they wouldn't fit in the large sizes. And the day I fit into a size 8 pair of jeans, I remember in Just Jeans, when the woman handed me the 8, and I was like, I'm not an 8. And she was like, oh, I think you are. And I remember crying in the store. She had to bring tissues in.
Oh my God.
Because I could not believe that I was a size 8. I had not been a size 8 since I was maybe 14. So it was a big shock, and I was just very emotional. I had to tell her my story, so she didn't think I was just freaking out in the bathroom in the store.
What did I say? I made this girl cry.
But she was just like, oh, you've done so well, and she was very proud. But it was just a good moment. I bought the jeans too, because I felt so good in them.
Damn right. I bought 6 pairs of these bitches, and
I was just so excited.
The whole wardrobe.
So it's just little milestones on the way that just made me happy, like just dropping dress sizes, or just little things, like just jeans, like just just a jeans. Who would have thought? But it's just milestones.
It's No, I get it. It's not the jeans. It's what the jeans represent to you, right? It's what they mean for you.
Something I never thought I'd achieve.
In your world. You know, one for me when I was on my journey is I put on a pair of jeans. I remember trying to walk up the road to like the shops or something where I used to live, and I'm walking. I'm like, fuck, these things are falling off me. And I was like, this is really annoying. I'm like, and I was like, hang on a minute. This is awesome.
This is great.
Holy, it's working, right? Like we all have those little light bulb moments that become very powerful on the journey. And if people out there haven't had those moments, like, they're coming, and you can almost have some faith that like you will get those little wins, and they very much change you mentally, because then all the hard work, it's like it's worth it.
It means
it's worth it, and it's working. And It's very important to
And
have
there's
those.
so many milestones. Like it's not just one. Like it's not just dropping 10 kilos and that's the end of the goal. It's just little goals along the way. Because even when you get to a weight that you're comfortable and happy with, it's you can build muscle mass. You can do different things, and you can be proud of yourself different ways.
Yep.
So I just think it never really ends. You can just keep being proud of yourself.
You beat me to it. It's a never-ending journey. A lot of people go into it. I did it. A lot of people go into it going, there's this point I want to get to, and that point I feel happy and feel confident and no more feeling shit about myself at the beach. And we think at some point that often the point doesn't exist. And even if you get there and then you stop, you know what'll happen? You just get backward, right? So it's like, well, that was a bit of a waste. Now I've got to do it all again.
All over again.
You got to, like you said, it's never-ending. Find a new goal. We got to enjoy the improvement process.
And I think that's why it's really important to find a gym that you're really comfortable with and love. Because when you start learning about nutrition and stuff, it doesn't have to end. It doesn't have to be a challenge that lasts 6 weeks and then you've dropped a dress size and that's it, back to old ways. You start learning about calories, you start learning about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle choices and make friends along the way. And that just means that you get to live your life healthier. Almost.
Is that, you beat me to the next question, is that what you think has helped you stick to it? Because a lot of people get the results or get some results, but they don't stick to it. So for you...
Yeah, this gym was just a different curveball for me because I found so many of the members and the mums and the ladies and just the coaches as well, but just such a good community spirit to have people uplifting you along the way with little challenges and little things. And it's just an environment that you feel confident and comfortable. And that means everything, because when you're training and you want to feel confident and you want to feel comfortable, and a lot of people don't feel comfortable at gyms because they haven't picked the right one for them.
For sure. That wasn't me trying to get a plug for the gym.
No, but that's what I really believe.
I appreciate it, obviously. I think I want the big picture takeaway for people out there, whether it's in a gym or not, is that it's the community of people around you. Because if you're this only person in your life working toward these things and doesn't care about fitness, and everyone else around you is like, what are you doing going to the gym again? Or why are you trying to eat that healthy meal? Like, come on, let's get pizza, let's have a drink. You don't need to get up in the morning and work out. Like, if you have the environment not supporting you, it's very difficult to stick to it, even when you're getting good results. And I managed on my own when I was younger. Like it was almost miraculous that I was like following people who are inspiring me online, and I was like in their programs, and I had that message coming in. That's what helped me. And if I didn't have like a gym where the people around me, so like that's the big picture principle.
The support principle,
you happen to find it here, which is pretty cool.
I did, but yeah, it's just the support. Like that encouraged me to keep going further. I think a lot of people feel that way. Like as long as you find a support group that can help you to get through your goals.
And what's your, like, I don't want to dwell on it, but like total since you started day one, go to the doctor, to where you are now, total like lost weight?
So I was 98 kilos January 2018, and I'm currently sitting at 54.
Holy shit.
So we've lost, let's do some quick maths.
You're 44.
44.
Yeah. You've almost lost half of you.
So, yes. So 44 kilos in 2.5 years.
Yeah, just makes your personality even bigger because it's like less of you in the same personality, so the personality seems bigger.
That's
that's amazing. Not that I want to dwell on numbers because numbers are very individual for everyone, and for some people losing 4 kilos is like amazing, right?
And it is.
So it's not about the total number, but I think that's important to share how far you have come. What would you say one or two key pieces of advice you would have given to Jiordy back in 2018 if you could go back and you could time travel and you're like, yo, I know you don't feel great about yourself right now and you want to like go down this journey, what would you say to help them?
I think I would say that the scales don't matter and don't focus on them so much. It's not something that I would look at and base everything off. I think a lot of people jump on the scales and it freaks them out, and I don't think that's something you should look at. It's more how you feel. And I think if I'd known that, I wouldn't have been so upset and so a bit triggered. I think if I'd just known that, hey, if I'm gonna make smart choices to get healthy, then that's good. It doesn't need to be a weight loss every week or a deficit. As long as I'm making the effort, that's good enough. And I think if I'd known that, I would have probably been a little bit more at ease.
Yeah, for sure. Like you might get the same results, but not stressed about it.
No, not stressed about it.
Yeah, that's a really important principle because we can focus on the outcome or the actions or the efforts, and we can control one and not the other.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying. Like focus on what you can control, which is the effort. And if 1 week it doesn't go to plan outcome-wise, it's like that's okay. And a lot of people don't set action goals of like eat well 6 days this week or
sleep.
Yeah, sleep. Go for it. Get walking in, drink water. These are all actions. People instead just go, look, all I want is to get to the size 8 jeans, which is cool. Like that's the goal. That's why you're doing it. But you feel a lot more in control when you focus on the actions because you control that. And if you don't sleep well one night, guess what? You can sleep well the next night. But if you jump on the scales and you can't lose weight, you can't like scream at them until they go down. That would only burn a tiny bit of calories at screaming. So that's a really profound lesson. I don't think you realise how profound that actually is to share. So that is awesome. Is there anything else you would give to someone out there struggling in this area, wanting, trying to get there, feel like they're starting, stopping, Any other piece of advice?
I feel like you need to, if you're feeling like giving up, I feel like you need to reassess your goals and just remind yourself why you're doing it. And if it's for a reason like, you know, you want to be healthier, you want to be happier, and it's not something other than that, then I think you should just keep focusing on that and just, you know, just have a look back at things and just change things up a bit. Like if it's a bit hard, try something a little bit different. Don't have to continue to sticking to it if it's really affecting you. Just try and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you can find ways to make it work that it's not, you know, overdoing it for you. And I think a lot of people just, when it gets pressure, they don't think about different ways to address the situation.
Yep.
And if they did, they'd find that just one box doesn't fit all. You can do different things.
Yep.
So many different things to get the same results.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's something.
Again, very profound. Like we get trapped in the same way of thinking.
Yeah.
And we think we have to keep doing this way, and if the way isn't working, then nothing works.
No.
And there is a lot of different ways to think about it, address it, whether it's what you're doing physically or how you're thinking about it, or focusing on the act, right? So I love that. So yeah, you think you tried everything, you haven't.
No,
Summarize. So
not at all.
that is awesome. Thank you so much, Jiordy, for
That's
sharing all that and being so honest and truthful. And I hope anyone who watched it took away a bit of inspiration, a bit of lessons, and some renewed passion for working on it. And I can follow in the footsteps. So thanks again, Jiordy.
That's okay.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you around.